But it never should be 90-10. It never should be where one person just gets everything. Like, okay, we're just going to give you everything in the world, say you buy, right?
Well,
so who takes care of making sure that one person isn't unfairly treating the other person?
Well, that's really the work of the team. So not only am I a certified divorce financial analyst, but I'm also trained in mediation and trained in collaborative dispute resolution. These are two other ways of getting divorced, doing a mediated divorce or doing a collaborative divorce. And it really involves a team of professionals. It's our job to sit down with the couple and say, okay, I know you are freaked out about what's about to happen to you, and it's painful, and it's ugly, and it's not going to be pretty. It's certainly not going to be fun.
And it's also not going to be inexpensive.
Well,
all of my friends that are going through divorces right now, like I've been divorced, and it was really done very well. We had a mediator, we had 2 children, we divided things up kindly, fairly, with respect to our children and respect to generations beyond. You know, we didn't lose our heads, right? And I think because we stayed calm, we were able to navigate that in a fair, beautiful, consistent way.
Absolutely.
But now I have about 5 or 6 friends due to COVID. They're all going through different things, and it's a mess. And you know who's getting all the money? Who's getting all the money?
The lawyer.
The lawyer. The lawyer, the lawyer, the lawyer, the lawyer. Nothing against lawyers. I like lawyers, right? Okay. But the point of the matter is this. It's a game now to them. So in order to go in, you have to go in with an educated person like yourself, Donna, that can kind of be the advocate and say, okay, right? Enough is enough is enough.
Right. And, you know, I do actually use that phrase a lot when I'm talking to especially women who are going through divorce. As a woman that went through divorce and coming from a very large Italian family of women, my mother was one of 10, there were 9 girls, 1 boy. So I use the word financial advocate a lot because you need someone in your back pocket saying, nah, you know, that's not really what you want to do. I know you want to. Like I said to a client the other day, yes, you have absolutely every right because that property is in your name, but I'm going to tell you something. If you do what you're thinking of doing, which is selling the property outright without his knowledge, you're going to open up a hole of hell in front of you and you're going to fall into it because he's going to be really upset. There's going to be taxes that are owed. There are going to be ramifications that you can't even imagine right now. So here I am with my sword and my shield, and I'm going to protect you from you by telling you, no, this is not what you want to do.
Right.
I've seen
just
it
making
happen.
things worse and worse and worse.
Absolutely. And that's part of the problem with the legal system, because I usually say, you know, divorce law is kind of like just a suggestion. There are
that's funny. Divorce law is just a suggestion.
There are very few things that are actually cut in stone. One of them is child support. That is
25% if you have 2 children, 17% if you have 1.
Exactly.
Call it a day if you have more. I mean, you know, that's what it is.
And there are, you know, there are some ways that you can play with the number because there are caps on the amount of income that it's based on. But we all know on Long Island, there is a lifestyle that needs to continue to be supported. So there are ways of working around that. But a lot of times people say, well, he can't do this. Well, show me where it says he can't. So it becomes more of a let's have calmer heads talk about the reality. And nobody wants to face reality in divorce. Everybody wants to be really mad and say, but the judge is going to hear my story and he's going to give me everything because poor me, look at what happened. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. So I am usually part of the voice of reason in the scenario saying, okay, I've been through this with my clients. I've been through it myself. I can tell you that if you do that, A, B, and C is what's going to happen. And you're not going to be happy because then after A, B, and C happens, X, Y, and Z is going to follow. And trust me, you don't want to go there. So I try to give them scenarios and say, okay, if this is what you want, and I get it, I hear you, I know that's what you really want, but let's look at the logic of it. Maybe we can do this. Maybe we can do that. Let's come up with something that makes sense to you. What do you see in your future? And that's really the hardest thing, because when you're leaving a marriage, you can't see what's in front of you. And my sister always used to say to me, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And I would say to her, I can't even see the tunnel because you're in it, you're in the woods, you cannot see anything, and you can't think logically because you're thinking with your heart. And that's the hardest part. So someone like me, who has a finance background, who has experience in this, can say to you, Donna, I get it. I so hear you. I so understand. I've been there. Let's try to look at another scenario. Let's try to look at another alternative. You don't want to pay taxes. I know you want to hold on to the marital residence because it's your home, but maybe it's too expensive for you. Let's look at some other alternatives.
It's nice that you help guide them through that because it's very traumatic. It's, you know, and what ends up happening though is if you stretch it out too long, there's no money left because now the attorneys have taken it all. And especially when you talk about gray divorce, you know, you need to be able to take care of some medical bills or keep a roof over your head or maybe be able to buy your grandchildren a wedding gift when they get married. And if you keep bickering about silly nonsense, and you can't just come up to an agreement where like, this is what's fair, half and half, or whatever, or, you know, 55, 45. If you keep messing around, there's nothing left. And that's the other reason I wanted to have you on. I haven't ever, in the 15 years I've had the show, Donna LaScala, ever have anybody talk to us about equitable distribution or even having not just an attorney, but having someone like yourself that has a financial background to say, you know what, let's look at the pie. How can we each eat some of the pie and not go hungry?
Absolutely.